Where's the guy with the sports jacket? Good afternoon and welcome everyone. We are now live on our Facebook broadcast page. So we will officially call our meeting to order for the Yuma County Planning and Zoning Commission for today, May 24th, 2022. Amber, would you verify the quorum for us?
Yes. AJ Mosqueda,
Present.
Ron Rice, Scott Mulhern,
Here.
Tim Bowers,
Present.
Jim Allen, Danny Bryant,
Here.
Matias Rosales, Gary Black, Bobby McDermott,
Here.
Ron Van Wy. Chairman, you do have a quorum.
Very good, thank you. Now if we could all stand and join me, I'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A little housekeeping before we get started on tonight's agenda. If you parked in the rear employee gated parking lot, please move your vehicle to the front north parking lot to avoid having your vehicle locked in. Please sign in on the sign-in sheet at the table by the rear door. If you speak tonight, state your name and address for the record before speaking at the podium. When you speak, please address the chairman, not the audience or staff, when speaking. There is a 3-minute timer available to us. We don't have to use it often, but it is the chairman's prerogative if we need to implement the 3-minute time limit. If you have handouts to give to the commission, give them to admin staff and they will distribute them. If you show information on the overhead projector, please give that to staff as well so that it can become a permanent part of the record. Restrooms and drinking fountains are just out the door down the hall behind us. Feel free to use them as needed. And please, no food or beverages other than water in the meeting room during our meeting. Next item on today's agenda is the approval of our Planning and Zoning Commission regular minutes of our March 22nd, 2022 meeting. Commissioners had opportunity to review.
I move the approval of our Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting minutes of March 22nd, 2022.
Second. We have a motion by Commissioner McDermott with a second by Commissioner Van Wy to approve the Planning and Zoning Commission minutes from our March 22nd, 2022 meeting as published. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes were unanimously approved. Next item on today's agenda is to elect a vice chairman for the County Planning and Zoning Commissioner for the remainder of year 2022. As we all know, Commissioner White was our vice chairman and he was unable to accept a reappointment, so we do not have a vice chairman at the moment. Vice chairman is responsible to come down and make sure there's plenty to drink for the chairman when he's here. Is anyone especially good at that?
I can't, that's not me then. I'm not that guy.
I move we vote for somebody who's not present.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing.
You don't have to move, just nominate.
I nominate Scott. I'll second that.
We have a nomination by Commissioner Van Wy with a second by Commissioner Bowers to nominate our good friend Scott Mulhern. Is there any other nominations? Seeing none, we'll close the nominations, and all in favor of electing Scott Mulhern as the new vice chairman signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Come on down and take your seat, Mr. Mulhern.
Take it down. Now you gotta rotate.
I'm holding out for Mr. Bryant's spot, see. Tag.
Congratulations, sir.
Congratulations, Mr. Scott.
You do know
I
how
don't
to
have to
mix
recuse
drinks,
myself
right?
too often, Ryan.
All right, next item on tonight's agenda, item number 5, rezoning case number 22-04. Micah Johnson requests the rezoning of a partial 8 gross acres in size from rural area 10-acre minimum to suburban ranch 2-acre minimum. Staff report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Juan Leal Rubio, Senior Planner with the Planning and Zoning Division. This request is located in Yuma Mesa Planning Area at 7201 South Avenue B, and the intent is to split the property into 2 parcels. This is the case map that shows the subject property, crosshatch parcel 12. Surrounding the property, we have towards the northeast, parcel 1, zone RA5, which is the location of a site built and a manufactured home. The manufactured home was placed with a special use permit that was issued back in 1991. Parcels 4 and 5 zoned SSB2 to the north. It contained a single-family residence each. Parcel 6 is zoned SR2, which also contains a site-built home. Parcels 7, 9, 10, and 11 are zoned RA10, and they all contain single-family residences. As you can see, those parcels do not meet minimum parcel size requirements, but they were split by a variance back in the early 80s. Parcels 14 and 15 to the southwest are zone SR2, and parcel 15 contains a site-built home. Parcel 14 contains a double-wide manufactured home. Parcel 13 to the south is zoned R810 also, and is the location of a double-wide manufactured home. Parcels 2 and 3 are zoned SR2. Parcel 2 contains a site-built home, and parcel 3 is the location of an ag building. This shows the proposed split submitted by the applicant. As you can see, there's the west side is developed with a site-built home and some accessory buildings, and the remaining is currently fallow. They're showing a proposed split of 4.75 and 2 parcels. However, keep in mind that with the SR2 zoning that they're proposing, they're going to be able to split and create parcels no less than 2 acres. This shows aerial imagery of showing the activity and different character, the character of the area. This is a picture looking south at the subject property, looking east along the County 17 and 1/8 street alignment, currently unimproved. This is looking west along County 17 and 1/8 street. You'll see that there's an all-weather access road that does not run the entire frontage of the property, but it's a portion on the east side. I'll show you on the map. We received comments from MCA Yuma requesting a navigation disclosure statement to be recorded, and we did not receive any other calls or email or letters. Staff is recommending approval of this rezoning case with the following conditions: that within 60 days of board approval, the owner provide a waiver 12/11/34 and record the statements shown on the slide: infrastructure, schedule for development, agriculture, and navigation disclosure statements. That the following schedule for development, that within 1 year approved by the board, and prior to the approval of a land division permit, the owner shall obtain a grading permit from the Yuma County Engineering Department to improve the alignment of County 17 and 1/8 street from Avenue A and 3/4 to the west property line of the subject property, with a standard C gravel roadway. Number two, that the property be split by means of a land division pursuant to the Yuma County zoning ordinance, and that any required irrigation easements be recorded with the land division permit. Number three, that they get a certification from a licensed engineer confirming that the road has been built according to the standard C gravel roadway. And number four, that all lots be provided with the means of irrigation and access to irrigation water. And we'll need a letter from the irrigation district confirming that each property will have its own irrigation system. And that concludes our presentation. Just to show you here, that line represents the schedule for development that we are requesting that they improve it to a standard C. It's too late.
So you're requesting that entire road be improved all the way to?
Correct. It is currently a dedicated right-of-way. It's unimproved. It is improved, I believe, you see where parcel is to the north? The west property line, I believe there's an all-weather access road that was installed by the developer of parcel 4 when the house was built. So it's there. It wasn't approved to a standard. It was just gravel that they laid on the road. We are asking as part of their rezoning that they actually get an engineer, they receive obtain a grading permit, and build it according to the standard C.
And that would need to go the full length of the property, even if he didn't need that road to access the two lots that he's going to end up with.
The staff is requesting that they improve it the entire length of the property.
Great. Any other commissioners have questions of staff? Commissioner McDermott.
If we change the zoning, you said that he could actually go to 3 parcels as opposed to 2.
If, I mean, there's the properties, Chairman Bryan, the property's currently developed, but, with some demolishing and removing of existing structures, they would be able to split the property more.
Any other questions? If not, is the applicant in the audience? Would the applicant like to speak now? No one has come forward, so we'll open the public hearing portion of this meeting. And we'll ask if there's anyone in the audience who would like to speak regarding this rezoning case number 22-04, either for or against. No one has come forward, so we will close the public hearing portion of this meeting and come back to the commissioners for discussion and action. Chairman, Commissioner Van Wy.
I move that we accept the case as presented by the county and with the recommendations set forth.
I'll second it.
We have a motion by Commissioner Van Wy with a second by Commissioner Bowers to recommend approval of rezoning case number 22-04 as presented by staff. Is there any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. We'll go to the Board of Supervisors with the recommendation of approval as per staff's recommendations. Next item on tonight's agenda is item number 6, special use permit case 22-02. Trenton Solis, agent for Stephen and Cheryl Solis, request a special use permit per section 602.03E of the Yuma County Ordinance to allow an accessory dwelling unit on a parcel 2.5 gross acres in size, zone suburban ranch, 2-acre minimum. Staff report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Javier Barraza, Senior Planner, presenting special use permit case number 22-02. The project site is located in the Foothills Planning Area at 14833 East 27th Street, New Arizona. The intent is to build a site-built home as an accessory unit, dwelling unit for a family members. This is the zoning and vicinity map. So it's showing the subject parcel highlighted in crosshatched. The property is 2.5 gross acres in size, and it's accessed from Avenue 14.5E on the west through 28th Street, Mountain Drive, and 27th Street, and ultimately Gold Bar Drive, highlighted in the route is highlighted in cyan. Parcel 72 on the north is zoned suburban ranch 2-acre minimum, improved with a site-built home. Parcel 71 also zoned SR-2, improved with a manufactured home. Parcel 66 also is improved with a site build, also zone SR2. Parcel 74 to the south is a vacant parcel, zone SR-2. And parcel number 1 to the east, owned by the state of Arizona, zone rural area 10-acre minimum. It's in mountain terrain. This is an aerial view showing the subject parcel outlined in red. The existing dwelling is located on the northeast quarter of the property. This is an oblique view. The subject parcel is outlined in red, so you can see the topography of the area. This is the site plan that was submitted by the applicant. The property boundaries are in the red dashed line. Outlined in red is the existing location of the residence. And highlighted in red is the footprint of a 66 by 66 square, and the proposed ADU should be within those parameters, and it meets setbacks in all respects. This is a view looking east along 27th Street. It's a perimeter road in gravel condition. Looking north along Gold Bar Drive. Now looking northeast of the subject parcel from the southwest corner of the property. Looking northeast at the existing dwelling, which is elevated in a terrace. Now looking northeast at the proposed accessory dwelling unit location, which is west of the subject of the existing dwelling. Now comments received from within the zoning area. The staff recommends approval of special use permit case number 22-02. Subject to the following performance condition. Within 60 days of board's approval, the owner or agent shall provide an ARS 12-1134 waiver, record an infrastructure disclosure statement. Also, the following operational conditions. Number 1, the approval of the special use permit is based on the site plan submitted by the applicant. Any change will require approval by the planning director. And number 2, the principal dwelling and accessory dwelling unit shall not be rented out separately. Mr. Chairman, this concludes staff's presentation.
What was the last requirement?
The principal dwelling and accessory dwelling unit shall not be rented out separately.
So they both could be rented out to someone or to a family, but you couldn't rent them out separately. That's a new twist, right? Haven't seen that requirement or condition before.
Mr. Chairman, Maggie Castro, Planning and Zoning Director. If you remember a few months ago, maybe within the last 6 months or so, staff was asked by the Planning and Zoning Commission why we limited rental of the accessory dwelling unit, but not the principal dwelling unit. So this was what staff came up with to address the Planning and Zoning Commission's concern about rental of the accessory dwelling unit and the principal dwelling unit.
Very good. Thank you, Maggie. So am I understanding from the site plan that the actual accessory dwelling unit is planned to be bigger than the existing
Mr.
structure?
Chairman, the understanding is that this is just a general footprint, 66 by 66, which is 4,300 kind of square feet in size. The final design will be probably smaller than this, but this is what was provided. Probably within that footprint will be fine as far as setbacks. They don't have a final design. The applicant is present, could be addressed better.
So What is the difference in neighbor notification if the applicant were to say, I'd like to rezone the property to SR1 and have two separate residences and two separate pieces of property? What's the notification process to the community for a rezoning?
Mr. Chairman, the notification will be the same. Special use permit and rezoning will be the same. Sometimes, depending of the project, will be an expansion, increasing that notification area. But the state mandate is 300 feet.
So you notify the neighbors within 300 feet on both of them, whether it's a special use permit or rezoning? Because, I mean, you know my take on this. This is rezoning by special use permit, and we continue to do it. But if it were to be rezoned, would you require improvements to the roadway?
Mr. Chairman, yeah, there could be requirements.
Mr.
Depending-
So this is the easy way to rezone your property without going through the rezoning process.
Mr. Chairman, in special use, especially for accessory dwelling units, see the services will come from the main dwelling, like septic, water, and power, same driveway. So as on the other aspect, if rezoning takes increase in density by creating more lots, yeah, but that could trigger, yes, it could be more than two.
Is lots density or is houses density?
It's dwelling units per acreage density.
Yeah, it's the dwelling units. Any other commissioners have
Chairman?
questions of staff? Yes.
Since there's 20 feet, 3-inch difference between the two, so basically, as you stated, their future, my thought is their future process is to subdivide it into 1 acre parcels. So they're gonna need another septic tank for the septic unit, right?
Yeah.
And what about a water source? Are they gonna be off the same water source? Electrical pedestals, how is that gonna work?
We'll have to ask the applicant about that. Staff just told us, I believe, that they can use the same water source and perhaps even the same septic tank, although can't imagine anybody having a septic tank at
That
this
far-
time that's large enough to
Far apart.
handle two residences that far apart. Maggie?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the zoning ordinance requires that for accessory dwelling units, that the principal dwelling and the accessory dwelling unit be connected to the same septic system or source of sewage disposal, that they be connected to the same source of water, and that they share a common driveway and electrical connections, not electrical pedestal, I think?
It's just the power
Or
service.
they
APS,
have to share the power
meter,
source.
same meter.
And to address your concerns about the possibility of rezoning, if they were to request rezoning of this property, the land use designation is rural density residential. That land use designation does not allow 1 acre minimum parcel sizes. So a rezoning of the property to 1 acre minimum would require an amendment to the comprehensive plan before the rezoning could be considered by the Board of Supervisors.
Yes, well, I think as a general rule, everybody in Yuma is starting to look at ways to create more density because of the housing shortage and the land shortage. But more density in affordable ways, and putting two big houses on one lot doesn't make anything affordable. I mean, it becomes very unaffordable to have to buy two homes at once. But that's my take on it. Any other commissioners? Are you through, Commissioner McDermott?
Could you show up the picture of the home and the lot where the new house will go? Was that part of your pictures?
This is the one.
Photos.
The photos? Okay, aerial. On the,
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna do the top view. This is the existing condition, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so we're putting the house, looking at that photo, to the west of the existing home. Is that correct?
That is correct, Mr. Chairman.
That's all alluvial and wash and rocks and, wow. Uh, On their own property, I guess the flooding problems they would have to worry about themselves.
Mr. Chairman, I have another, on the last page of the packet, under technical, it does say a new septic system will be required for the proposed additional
What I thought
dwelling
I
unit.
read. So.
I knew I had read that, but I couldn't find it.
There it is, last page, top of the page.
On the back of the last page.
But I thought you said it had to be hooked to the same sewer, Maggie. I couldn't find it when I went to look for it.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, as far as sewage disposal, they can each have their own individual septic system. They have to have, they have to share a common driveway, and the utilities shall be from a shared meter.
I have a question. Regarding the driveway, isn't the driveway on the east side of the existing home? Or is that the front of the house? Okay. And so that's considered sharing the same driveway? I guess,
Mr. Chair, that is correct. That will be the common driveway.
Mr. Chairman, there's a driveway off of Gold Bar Drive. That is where, on the west side where you see the entrance to the property, that is a shared driveway between the two dwelling units.
okay.
Let the record show that Commissioner Allen has joined us. Where's his name at?
Right next to, right next to, right there. Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, also on this map, we have kind of a blown up one here. It does show 2 leach lines.
Yes, Maggie has changed her recommendation there. They don't require, they're just required to have the same electrical meter and the same driveway. Those are the only
Correct.
two shared.
Right.
Does it have its own electrical meter?
Chairman, the applicants have not provided construction plans showing the services that the accessory dwelling unit will have.
Or Commissioner, you catch Commissioner Allen up where we are there? You got it? Okay, in front of you. Very good. Is there any other commissioners have questions of staff? Is the applicant present? Would the applicant like to speak? Yes, sir. Come forward.
My name is Trent Solis, 10375 South Gold Bar. And the reason we're doing this is not for splitting acreage or renting or selling. My family, my mom, my father are here. I hate saying this out loud, but they have health conditions that are going to require a more ADA compliant kind of home to where me, my wife, can help take care of them. That's why we're doing this. We can plan on sharing the same water, the same electrical meter. I know there has to be a separate sewage tank or a septic tank for them because of the grade, as opposed to where the one existing is. So I just wanted to explain that's what we're doing here. We're not trying to split it for rental properties and all this stuff.
Well, thanks for that clarification. And I mean, you're getting caught up into a philosophical argument perhaps, or a zoning argument where some of us feel that if we're going to increase density, we should do it in ways that provides more affordable housing as opposed to ways that make properties more expensive and unaffordable for people to live. And of course, we set this precedence, and then folks in the high noise zones, they want to build accessory dwelling units, and the military is threatened as we double the density without rezoning. So it's nothing wrong with you. What you're doing is a noble thing for you to take care of your mom and dad and my arguments will not take away from that at all. But, so thanks for sharing.
Just trying to set, you know what I mean?
Understand.
Set the facts straight. All right, thank you.
Did any commissioners have questions? No. Okay, we will open the public hearing portion of this meeting tonight and ask if there's anyone in the audience who would like to speak concerning this special use permit application, either for or against. Yes, sir, come forward, name and address for the record.
Evening, Chairman Bryant and Commission. My name is Rich Czar, and I live at 14444 Pamela de Fortuna Drive in a similar district, zoning district, SR1, not SR2. And I'm about a half mile from this particular property. And I'd like to preface my comments by saying that there's no doubt that the family has a compelling reason for requesting a special use permit. However, I am objecting to this because, as you mentioned, it is a rezoning by special use permit, and our zoning, Suburban Ranch specifically, is for low-density, single residential dwelling. The other thing that concerns me is, and because I've been objected to some of these in the past, it's been a few years, there's not too many of them that come up, is that I don't understand why, like this particular house, for instance, why it couldn't be pushed out to have a granny flat attached to it instead of going through this process of a special use permit and the hearings and all that we have to go through when there is an alternative, which is to add on to the house, whether you go up or out, what have you, given that that the topography and whatnot of the lot, you're able to do that. And it looks to me like in this case, that is achievable instead of rezoning by special use permit.
You're finished. Is there any questions of this speaker? If not, thank you for coming.
Thank you,
Appreciate
sir.
it.
And I'd like to make one more comment. I'm glad to see
Yes,
that
go ahead.
Bobby McDermott is on the commission, and we have somebody from agriculture that spent their career helping our ag community out. It's good to see you on the commission. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience tonight that would like to speak concerning this special use permit case 22-02? Would the applicant's agent come forward again, or the applicant? I'd like to ask a couple of questions based on what Mr. Czar.
Well, sir.
Okay. Did you ever consider, as Mr. Czar was talking about, just expanding your house and putting a granny flat on?
We did, but the way that it's laid out, I'm not sure we'd be able to get what we desire out of it as far as the existing pad, because it's graded up, and there's septic
You
tank.
are high, yeah.
Septic tank in the driveway, which is the front of the house, which faces the Arizona state property. So we thought this would be a better option for what we were looking for.
Yes, Commissioner Van Wy.
Chairman, will they be limited to a square footage size of residence and/or anything of that footprint?
Question for staff. It could go, in that footprint, it could be whatever that square footage is. Is that accurate?
Correct.
Commissioner McDermott.
Looking at the photo, so what is the elevation difference going to be between the old and the new?
Offhand, I would say where the new site would be built to the existing home. Is that the question? Probably 11 foot up, maybe 10 foot up.
Got like a 10-foot drop
Embankment,
off
yeah, it
at
goes
the end
about-
of the house. I couldn't tell.
Yeah, 12 to 14 feet, I think is what it is.
That, if it were all the same elevation, I would look at, because you can, well, I know in the city, houses, and it's still one, one dwelling, but on something like that, it would be very difficult to do with the difference in elevation of the two parcels of land.
Any other commissioners have questions of the applicant?
One last question, Mr. Commissioner. As far as the residence goes there, so basically if you're looking at it, to the left of the picture is where the new home would go?
Yeah, to the left.
So that makes sense as far as why.
Yeah, on this
what you're-
picture here,
yeah.
you can
see
see
the
it.
difference in the elevations. It's quite a big difference, so. Okay. Thank you,
So,
Mr.
on your primary residence there, is the elevation going further out? Is it that height, or did you build your elevation up?
The elevation of the existing home,
Yes.
I believe it was built up. The home was built in, I think, 96 or 91. My wife corrects me. So.
We're glad they come to keep us in line.
So, yeah, I believe they brought material in to build that up. I'm almost guessing they
Right,
did,
so it's not that the terrain was like that, it's that your
Right,
house was built up
exactly.
to be built on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they brought in material for it.
Anyone else have questions of the applicant? If not, thank you. Yes.
One more
Did
for
you
the
have some-
record.
Yes, go ahead.
The house won't be 4,300 square feet. It's only looking for a 2-bedroom, so.
All right,
All right,
thank you.
guys.
I think I have not closed the public hearing portion yet. Is there anyone that would like to speak? If not, we will close the public hearing portion of this meeting and come back to the commissioners for discussion and action.
Mr. Chairman, having heard the arguments for and against and all of the situations, I move that we approve the special use as requested with the requirements and request as presented by the county.
We have a motion by Commissioner Van Wy. Is there a second? There's a second by Commissioner Allen to recommend approval of special use case 22-02. Discussion? Go ahead, Commissioner McDermott.
I'm reluctant to do it, however, the terrain and the way it is, there's practically no other way that they can achieve what they need to, so
Yes, there's a compelling case, but at some point, I'm going to ask the commission to consider trying to come up with some way to stop the rezoning by special use permits. I've sent some material to staff and asked them to help me formulate a way that we might be able to do that, especially in areas that are surrounded and close to the military base and the airport and those sound areas. But rezoning by special use permit is ultimately going to create higher prices and fewer options for people who are moving to our community because they have to buy 2 houses to get 1. So if we're going to increase our density, I think as a community we have to start finding smarter ways to do it, to increase the density so that we can affect the price affordability of homes. So I will vote against this for principle, but I will congratulate the folks if they get this because it's a noble thing you're doing, and I'm glad that you're taking care of mom and dad. I appreciate that. Anyone else want discussion before we vote? If not, all in favor of the motion to recommend approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The chairman stands alone. I had a lot of influence there. I vote no. And congratulations to you guys. It will go to the Board of Supervisors with a recommendation of approval.
Thank you.
Item number 7 on tonight's agenda. Discussion concerning a possible text amendment to the Yuma County Planning and Zoning Ordinance Sections 309 and 1108.03 to change the maximum height of fences exempt from permit requirements to increase the maximum height of fence walls to 7 feet in residential and rural area zoning districts. Staff report, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Presenting this discussion item, Javier Barraza, Senior Planner. The current requirement states that Yuma County zoning ordinance allows a maximum height of 6 feet. Yuma County adopted the 2018 International Residential Code in May 1st, 2019, exempting the requirement for permit for fences not over 7 feet. This requirement directly impacts Section 309 and Section 1108.03, fences, walls, and hedges of the Yuma County zoning ordinance. So we have a difference of 1 foot. While the zoning ordinance limits 6, you will require a variance to go to 7, but you will need a permit. So the proposed changes are shown as follows. The text that is the strike-through format is intended to be deleted, and the text in bold letter format is proposed new text. Section 309.00, and if we go to paragraph number 2, we are just proposing to delete the word 6 and add the word 7, and delete the number 7 feet and add number 7 feet. Will the chairman like me to read the entire or just show where the changes are going to happen? Thank you.
No, we fully understand the intent of the.
Okay, so this is section
So
1108.03.
wait a second, Amber needs to leave, so go ahead and read it to her.
Annie, it's about that much.
Will you allow it, Amber? Thank you.
No, we'll let you pass on that. Yeah.
I will direct you to paragraph number 1, and same fashion, delete the word 6, add the word 7. Number 6 will be deleted and number 7 will be added. Now paragraph B, at the bottom, the 2 bottom lines, same proposed. Remove the word 6, add the word 7, remove the number 6 and add the number 7. Here on paragraph number 3, top 3 lines, same fashion. And at the bottom 2 lines on paragraph number 1, same. Delete the word 6, add 7, and delete number 6 and add number 7. Mr. Chairman, staff recommends forward this item to the Board of Supervisors to obtain their input. Staff is ready to answer questions.
Any commissioners have questions of staff?
Chairman, what is their purpose? What is their desire? Why are they desiring this?
I can address that. I live in town, and I live in an area where the houses are not all on the same elevation.
That's okay.
So when we moved in to Bel Air, the house next to us, I had a 7-foot wall on 2 sides, and on the 3rd side, I could see in my neighbor's backyard. So the first thing my husband did was put 3 blocks on it. So I don't remember whether we ever got a permit or not, but it was done. And but yes, it's mainly for privacy.
Mainly for privacy, and then also it's nice to have our zoning ordinances in harmony with the building code. Because anyone reading the building code would not expect to have to get a permit if the building code says you don't need one for 7 feet. A motion to forward this to the Board of Supervisors for their input is in order. So moved. Commissioner Van Wy, seconded by Commissioner McDermott, to forward this to the Board of Supervisors for their input. They will make their input and bring it back to us to initiate the commission changes. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Recommendation to forward it to the Board of Supervisors is approved unanimously.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Item number 8, discussion by the commission members and planning directors of events attended, current events, and the schedule for future planning commission meetings. Anyone have anything to offer?
I think the schedule we started the year with looks pretty good.
I don't know, but if we don't find something to talk about, Amber's going to be on time. If there is nothing left to do and the meeting has been concluded, the meeting stands adjourned.